Hey everybody, this is Troy with eBuzz Central. Today we're taking a look at Ubuntu 21.10. It has landed and it has the Gnome 40 desktop environment. But before we get started, please do me a favor. Please like, subscribe, or follow my channel. Doesn't cost anything, and if you end up not liking me, you can always unsubscribe. If you want to follow me on my socials, maybe buy me a cup of coffee, or better yet, become a patron to the channel over on Patreon, those links will be in the description below. If you download Ubuntu 21.10, put it on a USB or open it in a VirtualBox, this is the screen you're met with. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to their website, and it basically states that Ubuntu 21.10 has landed, the most productive environment for cloud-native developers and AI/ML innovators across the desktop, devices, and cloud. And most of you in the community do know Ubuntu and you're familiar with their website. They do have a couple new things that they have on here now. They've got CentOS users, 6 things to know when considering a migration to Ubuntu LTS, modern enterprise open source, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, AT&T, Google Cloud, Netflix, latest news from their blog, energize your engineers, open source security, and then significant enterprise savings. And then you can go up top and they have enterprise developer. You have your community here. You can learn, meet, ethos, contribute, follow, governance, and then you've got download. You do not want to forget this website. When it comes down to downloading it, should you have issues, you always want to come back to Ubuntu and Ubuntu forums. There are literally thousands of ways to get your questions answered in the Ubuntu forums. Having seen their website, let's go ahead and close out of this and go to the desktop. First thing I'm going to do is right-click on the desktop. You can set a new folder, select all, arrange icons, show desktop and files, open in terminal, change background, display settings, desktop icon settings, background. You go over here. You won't have a lot, but because I am running in a virtual machine, if you do install this, you will have a lot more wallpapers here. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. Right-click and then desktop icon settings. Right here, you can adjust the size of them if you would like. Right now, they're on standard. You could go small if you wanted to. As you see, they get smaller. Or you could go larger. And, of course, they get larger. I'll go back to standard. You can change what folders you want to show on the desktop. If there's a folder over here and you don't want it there, just click on it. It disappears. Put that back. New icons alignment. Right now, they're top left corner. You could actually switch them to the top right corner if you wanted to. Or bottom left, bottom right. That's up to you, and that's up to your personal way of doing things. Double click to open set, and then local files only. I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. And of course, you've got install Ubuntu and you've got trash. If you go to applications, you've got additional drivers here, advanced network configuration, videos, solitaire, calculator, archive manager, text editor, characters terminal, disk usage, system monitor. Let's go ahead and check system monitor. And over here, it seems that we are running at about 1.5 gigabytes of the 3 gigs that I have issued to this machine, which is a little heavy, in my personal opinion. I've seen a lot of XFCE environments lately that are running somewhere between the 400 and 800 megabytes. But that's what you're going to get with Ubuntu and Gnome, of course. And then with it being in a Gnome boxes environment, it has access to all 12 of my CPUs. So we will close out of that. We will go back over here. You've got calendar settings, document viewer, screenshot, Gparted, cheese, LibreOffice out of the box, live patch, Minds, Mahjong, startup disk creator. If you're presently running Ubuntu or some other Linux distribution and you would like to give another distro a shot, all you have to do is go online, download the ISO you're interested in, open up startup disk creator, burn that ISO to the USB, and you can be trying out a different Linux distro. Startup applications, you've got software updater. Let's go ahead and check on that. Checking for updates. Updated software has been issued since Ubuntu 21.10 was released. Do you want to install it? We will do that later because I'm in a VirtualBox. I don't want to mess anything up. Then you've got Shotwell, Remina, power statistics, passwords, transmission for your online torrents. Let's go ahead and go back out. On the side over here, you've got Firefox. We've already seen that. You've got Thunderbird Mail for your mail client. Files, we'll go ahead and look at files. And one thing I do like about Ubuntu is the folders that they use. I love those icons. You can make them bigger if you choose. Go up a little bit and make them 100, or you can make them 67. I'll leave that right there. And then over here, you have your usual suspects. And then right here, your usual home folders. So let's close out of that. One thing I do want to do is let's go to settings, and I want to go to appearance. I want to go ahead and switch it to a dark mode because I do love the way the file manager looks in dark mode. I think it's because of the icons they use, but Ubuntu never fails when it comes to looks. I promise you that. So we'll close out of that. Investigating more in settings. You can auto hide the dock if you want to. Just click that button and it would auto hide. As you see, it disappears off the screen once something touches it. If that's what you want to do, you can. I'll go ahead and switch that back on. Icon size, right now they're set at 48 by default. If you wanted to drop that down a little bit and maybe drop it to 42, you could. Of course, they get smaller over here and they look better on the dock. And then where you want the dock. Do you want it on the left side of the screen? I have been growing accustomed to having it on the right side of the screen. I don't know why. It's just my personal preference. I'll leave it over there for now. And then notifications, you can adjust notifications on your applications. If you want them to actually send a notification or not, you can change that here. Search, applications, privacy, online accounts. Come in here, set up your Googles, your Microsofts, your Foursquares, your Microsoft Exchange. You can get those all set up, and then you can actually sync them across your email provider. Sharing, sound, power, displays, mouse and touchpad, keyboard, removable media, color, accessibility, users, default application, date and time, about. Like I said, at present, we have 3 gigabytes of RAM issued to the machine. OS name, Ubuntu 21.10, OS type, 64-bit. GNOME version 40.4.0. Windowing system is X11. Virtualization is KVM. And then, of course, you can click on software updates. So let's close out of that. Then you've got Rhythmbox, LibreOffice. You got the Ubuntu Software Center. Let's go ahead and check that out. Hands down, Ubuntu's got one of the best looking software centers out there. Up top, you have Spotify, which is a featured app. And then, of course, you got your editor's picks, which is Krita, VidCutter, Opera, Brave, Thunderbird, which you already have. And then down here, you've got categories, everything from art and design all the way to utilities, entertainment, games, devices. Or you could come up top and just do a search. I'm going to look for OBS. And it's done its search, but I didn't put OBS Studio. So I'll have to scroll down a little bit, but there is OBS Studio. Then you would just click on it, and you can install it from right here, and it would be coming from the Snap Store. So let's back up. Back to the main page of Software Center. If you come over here and go to About Software, it'll let you know it's Ubuntu Software 3.38.1, a nice way to manage your software on your system. And then you could go over and check installed, and then, of course, whatever updates you might have. At present, it's just the Snap Store because this was just released recently. So we will close out of the Software Center, and we will go back over to Firefox, highlight a couple things here. Some of the changes in Ubuntu 21.10 is it comes with the Gnome 40 desktop by default. It comes with the Yaru light theme by default, Firefox Snap by default, ZSTD compression for packages, Wayland enabled for NVIDIA driver issues, multi-touch gestures, Linux 5.13 kernel, updated themes and icons. So we will close out of that. Well, that's a fresh look at the newly released 21.10 Ubuntu Impish Injury. What do you think? Is it something you might drop on a USB, throw in a virtual machine, and give a test drive? Let me know in the comments below. Please do me a favor before you leave today. Like, subscribe, or follow my channel. Doesn't cost anything, and if you end up not liking me, you can always unsubscribe. If you want to follow me on my socials, maybe buy me a cup of coffee, or better yet, become a patron to the channel over on Patreon, those links are in the description below. Thank you for watching my video, and I will see you in the next video.